And are you refreshed? Yes. Good. Now what?
Thank you. Kind of knew it was going to be me. It was weird. I was unsure what question I was going to ask because I knew leading up to this, and then it just became clear on the break. As you were saying about it's not external conditions that people need to change. I've really
or can change.
Right. I've really realized that recently. For the last 5 years, I've just kind of been going in circles, and have got to that point, and I was just thinking this a couple weeks ago, it's not this, it's not that, it's not anything outside of me, it's really my relationship with myself that is what needs to change. And I feel like...
The good news is that all those circles you've been going in, you've been launching plenty of rockets of desire, so it's not been unproductive.
Yeah, I feel like the Holy Grail is right on the other side of the door. If I could just allow myself to open it.
It's helpful to understand, we're just going to interrupt briefly,
okay,
that it is just on what feels like the other side of a door, but it's going to there's always going to be something that feels like it's on the other side of that door, because you're as fast as you manifest, you're going to think up new stuff to want. So
right.
You might as well just get used to
okay. There
being somewhat of a gap
okay.
between what you're asking for and what you're allowing, and then just start getting excited or happy about the allowing part. In other words, there's always going to be some not yet quite realized, because you're hatching desires as fast as you're realizing them.
Right.
And that's an important piece of this, because that angst about that feeling that I've almost got it but I don't have it, that's the feeling that we want to soothe here, because that's the feeling that's in the way. Does that make sense to you? That's what's in the way. That I need to do something different. Well, think of the condemnation you're standing in when you say that. I should do something different, or I should have figured it out. That's what we want to soften here. No, it's normal. It's normal for me to want stuff that hasn't manifested yet. It's the most normal thing in the world. I'm always going to want stuff that hasn't manifested yet.
Right.
But there's going to be a steady string of manifesting wonderful things in my experience. It's always going to be that way. It's not like the Holy Grail. There's not some big prize that I'm waiting for. You know, a lot of people are they're waiting for their dream mate, their dream life, their dream vacation, their dream house. And we say, if you just get over that and say, it's my expected mate, my expected house, my expected manifestation, my expected prosperity, it's not big and bold and hard. It's natural and for sure and coming.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I feel like I'm having a hard time allowing myself to feel like I deserve good things. For example, the Mega Millions Lotto was recently 450 million, and I was thinking to myself well, if I won that, that's almost too easy. I just paid $1 or $2, and then I won all this money. It feels like it.
Well, that'll keep you from doing that.
Yeah, and I feel like that with a few other things in life, with a relationship or with other well-being
that's
stuff.
That's why we were saying earlier, and we say this often, that when you begin consciously setting something up, in other words, acknowledging, my life has shown me that I would like this.
Okay.
And the reason I would like it is, and you deliberately practice thinking about that and getting momentum going about that and pleasing yourself with that. And now this is an important piece of this.
Okay.
In other words, if the contemplation about it is because it's pleasing to contemplate it, then you're really in a good vibration. If the contemplation about it is to make something happen that hasn't happened, then you got something weird going on in your vibration again. So as you are thinking about it for the pleasure of thinking about it, now what happens is your vibration just shifts and it comes closer, and you start seeing it evolving, and there begins to be a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of control and satisfaction, but most important, a feeling of deservability. Because what happens is, you see, the reason that so many of you have practiced a feeling of unworthiness until it is an art form within you.
Yeah.
The reason that you've practiced it so well is because you have not understood what it takes to get things to flow easily into your experience. You've been working with criteria that doesn't work. You've been living conditional love. You've been jumping through the hoops. You haven't been tending to your vibration. So you've practiced the logic of, well, since it hasn't come, I must not be worthy.
Yeah.
Well, that's just bogus. The only reason it hasn't come has nothing to do with your worthiness. It has to do with you practicing vibrations that don't let it come. So doesn't it follow that when you begin practicing vibrations that do let this flow and do that let this flow and do let this flow, that the worthiness issue will subside?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? Since there are some buzzwords you use like love and worthiness that are so loaded because you don't realize that they are words that cause you to focus on subjects to which you have quite a bit of resistance. So we can't just zap you with a worthiness stick. You were zapped with that before you even came into this physical experience. So how can we convey to you in a way that it's meaningful to you that you get to choose and you get to receive whatever you want? Words aren't going to do it. You've just got to hear a little piece of something we say and apply it until you make the association. Yeah, I saw it, I wanted it, I lined up with it, it came. Worthiness exists in me, you see.
Yeah.
And after a while, you just begin feeling invincible. We'd rather that you felt invincible than worthy because the two are inextricably tied together. In other words, if you're the receiver of just a sequence of thoughts that just lead you on this never unfolding path of pleasurable events, you're going to feel worthy. If you buy the winning lottery ticket, you're going to feel worthy. But we want you to feel the equality of those two experiences. You talk about it feeling like it's the Holy Grail and the winning lottery ticket, and we called it the secrets to the universe that really have never been a secret. So you've got it. Just play with it and watch it and show yourself. Esther was walking around her beautiful home in Del Mar the other day, and it was like she almost could not accept the perfection of the moment in time. That everything just looked so good. Everything was so beautiful. Everything was so clean. All of the plants are so happy. She just sort of wandered around in this beautiful space by herself and actually had that same thought. It's like, shouldn't there be a whole lot more people right here, right now, having this experience? Is it real? And then she went to Taco Bell and got a burrito and went to the beach and sat there on the rock and looked at the ocean, and there was one other person there. And she thought, shouldn't there be more people here? Shouldn't there be more? Is this really all for me? Is this really all for me? Did you really put this ocean here for me today? Apparently so. In other words, you've just got to train yourself into accepting the goodness that is queued up for you.
Okay.
And the more you practice it, the more you'll feel it. The more you feel it, the more will come. The more that comes, the more you practice it, until soon you will just be a vibrational snob. who just expects things to happen because you felt your way into the being of them, and you know that deservability was never an issue, that you were so loved when you came. You said, I'll go forth and I'll explore and I'll decide what I prefer. And all that is source said, and we'll go with you. And when you decide, we'll be right there, holding the vibration so that you will know if you're on the signal of it or not. We will not create your reality, but we will be there to support in the fullest way the reality that you create. And when you discover that, you'll feel worthy, and you'll feel powerful. You'll feel invincible. You'll make a lot happen in this world, but most of all, you'll be happy.